What's up? This your boy Super Mario 1990 coming at y'all with a PlayStation 5 reveal reaction. Just an hour ago, PlayStation themselves, Sony, they dropped a video on Twitch, on YouTube, a couple of other streaming sites. And basically we got a reveal of PlayStation 5. We got a reveal of the games that are going to be playable on PlayStation 5, as well as like graphics, demonstrations, trailers, little teasers, things like that. It was a bunch of teasers really of over, I'm going to highlight 15 games, but I think it was about 20, maybe a little over 20. They also got into a little bit of the features as far as the system and the DualSense controller. And we also got to see what the actual box looked like too, so that was really cool. What we didn't get to see was the price, and we don't have an actual launch release. It's still holiday 2020, but there wasn't any like a specific date, and there wasn't pricing yet. So as far as the games, first what they had showed was a little kind of clip, a little montage of the PS4 games this generation. The games that we enjoyed, like God of War, Uncharted 4, and things like that, Horizon. And then they got into Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5, surprise, surprise, they're going to be having an enhanced edition for the PS5. It's supposed to release 2021. So basically, it's like what they did when PS4 was a thing, when they remastered Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS4. So, to me, in my opinion, I think there's like no hope for Grand Theft Auto 6, because this is now the third generation that Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to be currently on and still going to be relevant on. They show basically clips of the campaign, so because I'm guessing it's the Grand Theft Auto 5 experience on the PS5. It'll still be the campaign. It'll be everything that you do online, whatever it is you do online. I don't play online, but they're gonna drag everything over basically, and I'm sure if they keep having updates, I'm sure Rockstar's gonna keep updating the game. They're gonna add it to the PS5, so there's gonna be that. So it's, you know, it started at the very end of the PS3's life cycle, ran through the whole PS5 cycle, and now it's gonna start with the PS5 generation 2. So that's 3 generations where this is the only Grand Theft Auto that stayed relevant and current across 3 different generations. Like, other Grand Theft Autos have been made, you know, remastered, like Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas are always the ones that get, you know, remastered, but they get remade, remastered each time. This one actually just staying the course, you know, through all 3 generations. So I don't know when the actual Grand Theft Auto 6 is even gonna come out, if it's even gonna be a thing, even this decade, who knows? It might just be Grand Theft Auto 5 forever. Might as well be. You know, just give us a new expansion whenever you want to do a new campaign or something. It's crazy. So that's that. That was the first thing. So they got that out the way. And then the second thing they got into was a huge surprise for me. Spider-Man. Spider-Man Miles Morales. So if you played Spider-Man from 2018, you knew that Miles Morales was a character, and at the very end he discovered that he had some powers. He got bit by a spider, and so he got his powers. And so basically Peter Parker's supposed to kind of mentor him, things like that. So this is his own standalone game, it seems. It doesn't say Spider-Man 2, it says Spider-Man Miles Morales. So it's his own standalone game. I'm pretty sure Parker has some kind of role in it, but from what we've seen in the teaser, it's just like little clips of him, showing him with his suit, showing him in action. It looks real slick, real nice. Like I said, they showed everything with PS5 graphics in the PS5 engine. So this is what we're seeing, is how the game should look when the actual PS5 comes out. Now, mind you, I got a 720p display, so it looked beautiful. Like all the games I was watching, they looked beautiful still. So just imagine how if I had my stuff all the way upgraded, and I'm watching it on base PS4. I was watching on Twitch, watching via Twitch live on my base, base model PS4 on a 720p TV. Looked beautiful. And the headsets, they recommend that you wear headsets because 3D audio is supposed to be a big thing this next generation. I recommend them. I put my Turtle Beaches on full blast. The audio was real nice. So I was watching the Spider-Man trailer and everything that was going on. It looked real cool. And the most surprising of it, it's gonna be releasing holiday 2020. That means like about 5-6 months from now. So I'm like, wow, okay. So not only do we get a Spider-Man continuation, I mean, it's a sequel of some sort. It's not all Spider-Man 2, but it's Miles Morales' own side story. So it's going to be real nice. We're going to get it holiday 2020 way sooner than I was expecting. I was expecting a Spider-Man 2 with Miles Morales having a more expanded role and probably like 2021 holiday at the earliest, most likely, 2022, something like that. So this is hitting us real soon, which makes me think that a sequel is probably on pace for 2022. I'm sure this is probably the game that gets pushed out, and then we get the sequel, and then we probably get more characters involved. But it's like a mainline Peter Parker story. I'm just speculating here. I don't know for sure. They didn't get into that, but yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I was like, you know what? I'm putting that one on the agenda for sure when I get a PS5. I don't think I'll be an early adopter of the PS5. I might wait a year or two, maybe. So it'll probably be cheap by the time I get it, But yeah, I'm like, okay, now we talking. And then they got into Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank, I've never played. I've always heard of the series, never played. But from what I saw the trailer, it was real nice, real slick, real clean. Not as clean as the Spider-Man was looking. To go back to Grand Theft Auto 5. Honestly, Grand Theft Auto 5 looked like PS4's version, honestly. It's supposed to be an enhanced edition. But I forgot to tell you guys. But yeah, it looked more like the PS4 version to me. I didn't see anything too cleaned up about that one. Like I said, Spider-Man Miles Morales looked real cool. If you see Miles Morales in the PS4's version, and you see him in this teaser, it's a difference. Like, it just looks so much clean, so much more sleek, so much more slick. It's real nice. He looks like a cartoon in PS4 as compared to how they had him look in PS5. It's real cool. And so Ratchet and Clank, I mean, I remember how those games looked for PS3 when I kept hearing about them. Like I said, never played a Ratchet and Clank, never was really interested, but from what I've seen, it looked pretty cool, it looked pretty fun, the combat and everything, the graphics were like really cool for, I guess games of that stature. It was, doesn't exactly look like a platformer, but I mean, it looked cool. It didn't look like, how Spider-Man looked, but it looked really good for what it was. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that one, so that's why I pointed that game out. Not going to be on my agenda. Grand Theft Auto 5 might not be on mine either, maybe. I got my PS4 edition, I'm good with that. I waited out on PS3 because I knew it was going to be on PS4. And when I played it, the campaign was like cool at first, but then I was kind of like, and I didn't even go back to beat the other two endings. Honestly, I think I spent more time with San Andreas and Vice City, the PS2 ports on the PS4. I spent more time going back into playing those than I did Grand Theft Auto 5. So that tells you a lot right there. So I might not put that on the agenda. But Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, that's the new one. And then there was Gran Turismo 7. And Gran Turismo is another franchise I've always had respect for. I didn't like the first one that I played. I think it was, I don't know if it was the first one or the third one. It was back in '98. Every time you crash a car, you just spin out of control. And I hated that because racing games, I'm not big on racing simulation games. I'm more of the street race, Need for Speed, Midnight Club type. Those are the games I really go for. So Gran Turismo, as they stopped doing that and the other generations, it was like I'm like, oh, the graphics are beautiful. And then it started being like more of a realistic race. And I'm like, okay, cool. I wouldn't spend my money on it, but I respect it. It's real nice. But looking at these graphics, I feel like I was in an auto show for real. Like, I'm thinking, like, hold up, are they showing real footage or are these, like, it's just the actual game? It looks really beautiful. Like with Xbox, I despise Xbox, but as far as an exclusive that I wish PlayStation had access to, it's Horizon. What is it? Forza Horizon. It looked real beautiful. I played like a little demo of that, in stores and things like that. And I'm like, this game is real cool. I wish we had this game for for the PlayStation. But Gran Turismo is blowing that one out of the water. There's a Gran Turismo 7. They showed the cars, they showed models of the cars, and they showed the actual in-game footage and racing. They showed it from the first-person perspective too. So like when you're looking behind the wheel driving and looking at other cars, it looked really, really beautiful. Once again, not a franchise that I'm actually into. If I can play it somehow, I will play it, but nothing that I would own. Like I said, I'm more into the street racing and things like that, and just like dirty racing. Not so much into the skilled racing simulations. I'm not good at them, but it'd be nice to actually play with those cars and kind of go around. And they just look so beautiful, like the Porsches on there, everything. They had Formula One cars they were showing a little bit. Real cool. So that was another good game. Looked really beautiful. I think that was supposed to be releasing in 2021. So you can see the graphic improvements with that one. Really cool. And there was this game called Returnal. Now this is from PlayStation Studios. That's what they're calling themselves now. So all the studios that PlayStation owns, like Insomniac Games and Naughty Dog and things like that. Everything said PlayStation Studios for their exclusive games. So Returnal, one of the developers came out and spoke about it and said that it's a new franchise, which means I'm expecting not being just one game, but a new IP where they're gonna make a set of games, whether it's gonna be a continuation or maybe set in the same world but different games. But so far what this one was about, there was this character, seems to be the only human. Now I guess she was in outer space. I don't know if it was a mission or what, but she was on this nice little ship, and I guess she crash landed on this alien planet. And she's basically having this loop where she's, doesn't know where she is. She's dying, but then she comes back to life. And it's kind of like a new experience every single time. You don't know if she's really dead or what's going on. It's like Groundhog Day on another planet, basically. And she's going up against all these different creatures. And she's trying to find out on the planet, like, okay, like what's going on? What's the secret behind me? Like, am I losing my sanity? What's going on? So it seems like she's battling against all these creatures, battling against her own sanity and trying to find out what's really happening to her. Graphics looked beautiful. It was a AAA production, so none of the like cartoonish, kind of things, Pixar, kind of graphics, anything like that. It looked really beautiful, looked really realistic. And it actually looked pretty good story-wise. I'm kind of into more mysterious kind of games, especially games where like there's like a loop kind of timeline and you're trying to figure out, it's just so mysterious. You want to know exactly what's going on. You just want to, just unravel the whole mystery. I'm thinking like I might put that on my agenda. I wouldn't get it top price, but new IP and everything like that. But it looked pretty good. It looked like at least an interesting story to get off into. I didn't know too much of what the combat looks like and things like that, but she's going up against these like alien kind of creatures and with these like weird weapons. So it looked like there's something there to it. But overall, I was just kind of more into the graphics and the story of it and just the whole concept of it. So it seemed like a cool little new IP to get into. And like I said, they said it was a franchise, so they might make some more. And then they showed something from Sackboy A Big Adventure, it's supposed to be. For all you Little Big Planet fans, I was not one of them, but it looks like Sackboy is coming back, gonna be doing some things. I tried that game, a demo on PlayStation. This is back when I was in college. Now me, I'm more into third-person shooters. Some first person if they're really good. Mostly if it's a good Call of Duty campaign, I'm down for it. But pretty much third person shooters, story heavy RPGs like Heavy Rain, Detroit, something like that, or Life is Strange, and then just sports or fighting games. That's pretty much all I really play. So I tried that on PS3. I was back in college at the time, and I'm like, man, this ain't for me. It's a childish platformer game. Like, I mean, I grew up off of Super Nintendo way back in my day, so off of Super Mario Brothers. So I'm like, I kind of outgrown platform games. I'll go back and play the classics that I grew up off of, but even then, I can't play those for too long. I kind of outgrew them a little bit. It's cool for nostalgia purposes, but I can't like play them currently. Any new ones right now, it's like not my thing. So as far as it looked cool. It looked like an upgrade from what the PS3 generation did, like it should. But yeah, I mean, if you're into that, they got that coming for you. That's gonna be what's up. There was also a Destruction All-Stars game. Now this was more graphic wise, it was more on the cartoonish kind of side, but it looked really cool. It's like basically these like weird kind of, you know, hip kind of cool characters. They have some nice little hip hop music playing in the background, and basically they're in this huge ring full of cars and different vehicles, and I guess they're just running around, just crashing each other. Just cars are just blowing up, flipping on some like Fast and Furious type of stuff. And characters are outside of their cars, jumping around, trying to blow cars up, destroy cars, crash them into other vehicles or into the wall, things like that. So it looks like it was kind of confusing because I didn't know what was gameplay and what wasn't. It looked like it was probably mostly cutscene kind of footage or just rendered kind of footage, you know, to advertise and market the game. But it looked pretty cool, like gameplay, like just what they had going on, like crashing and flipping cars and blowing stuff up. I'm into that. That's why I like, you know, street racing games like that. It looked like a fun kind of dirty race where the object is to just destroy as many cars as you can. You know, vehicular warfare basically is what it was. It looked pretty appealing, looked pretty cool. I don't know if I would actually get it, but it looked like a fun game to keep your eye out on. But it didn't exactly look like a PS5 type game, you know, because of the graphics. It was more on the cartoonish side, but it still looked real clean. It still looked real clear. So it was still cool. I mean, it's not like Need for Speed Heat or nothing like that, or Gran Turismo 7 like I was telling you about. But it looked like a fun game, like at least like gameplay wise. It looked like it would be really, really fun to get off into. So that was cool. And then there was an Kena Bridge of Spirits. I don't really know exactly what the game is about, but it looked really good. But it's got like Pixar movie graphics, which is like, and I mean like nowadays Pixar. If you was to watch any Pixar movie that they did recently, it looked real nice, real clean. I don't know exactly what it's about, but it was like a fun-loving kind of game, adventurous kind of game too. It looked cool. I mean, something about it reminded me of Tangled a little bit. I don't know why. I mean, the girl doesn't even look like Rapunzel, but I mean, something about it. It looked like it could be okay. Nothing that I would play or anything, but maybe a good game to keep your eye on. There was that. Then there was Oddworld Soulstorm. I've always heard of Oddworld. Never played it. Just don't look like my thing. But it got that more old school 2D kind of platformer vibe to it. For a PS5, for the updated graphics from, you know, how we've come a long way, it looked okay. I would not waste my time on it at all, but I mean, it just didn't look appealing to me. I don't even know what the series is about or anything, but I know it's a thing and people might like it, so just to let you know, that's out there. That's gonna be coming up. And then another surprise for me. Not that it was a surprise, but it's just a surprise that it's coming so soon. Hitman 3. They showed this. Now, they said that this game for Hitman is actually going to be the ending to the whole World Assassination saga. So it's going to be a trilogy. They rebooted it with Hitman. Hitman 1, and then there was Hitman 2. So this will be 3. This will be the final one. And this Hitman, this series has been like a prequel story to the other Hitmans that you were familiar with when Agent 47 first came into the scene anyway. So this one's supposed to end all of that, and it looked pretty clean, looked pretty nice. They didn't show too much gameplay, just more of the kind of like mysterious walking in crowds, blending in, a few little kills, you know, these characters kind of like turning around, you know, mysterious characters looking like this or whatever, but just being real cool and sexy and all this and that. So, I mean, your typical Hitman, you know, fanfare. I mean, honestly, it looked like it'll play. They didn't show pretty much anything, but I just got the feeling that it'll pretty much play just like the first two Hitmans. It'll just be, I think it'll be improvements to graphics. It'll be more crisp, more clean, more colorful, more vibrant, more HDR. But I think it's pretty much going to be the same thing. You're just going to have the story continue, I think. They didn't show anything and make it look like it was going to really stand out farther out than the first two. It seemed like it's just going to be like business as usual. We got you a new game. We're going to give you new settings, new targets to kill. We're going to, you know, extend the story a little bit, you know, expand upon the story, move the plot, and then we're going to end it. And then who knows what they're going to do with the Hitman IP after that. But I was like, I'll put it on the agenda. Hitman's good enough for me. I like the first two, so I'm looking forward to see what this third one has to offer. And they said it's going to be coming out in January 2021. So that's what hit me by surprise. I'm like, oh, it's going to come up pretty soon. You know, that's 7 months from now. So I'm like, okay, that's what's up. I'll put that on the agenda. We'll see what's happening with that. And then after that, they showed, they had Zion Williamson, basketball player for the New Orleans Pelicans. If anybody watches in the NBA, watches basketball. Basically, he did a little tease. He teased 2K21, which we all know is going to be coming, you know, like every year. And it was pre-alpha footage, and it was basically, it wasn't even like gameplay or anything like that. It was basically like Zion, you know, dribbling the ball on the practice court all by himself. They showed the sweat. They showed him, you know, the renderings and everything. It looked pretty good. They're showing like his body and things like that. And you know how, you know, these sports games get, sometimes bodies look overly large and crazy, and the movements are kind of crazy. With this one, it looked more realistic, and I liked his movements. His movements seemed natural. It seemed fluid. They basically just showed him dribbling the ball, sweating, you know, all this stunting and flaps and all this and that, and then he just dunks the ball, and then that was it. And when he was moving and dunking the ball, the graphics, I mean, the just the kinetic movements and, you know, animation, everything looked real good and nice and clean. It looked realistic. The only problem is it was pre-alpha footage, and it was just a render of something that you're not even going to do in the game. You know, it was just for show. So you don't know what it's going to be like when you actually play the game. You know, the gameplay animations probably still can be a little janky and things like that. So, I mean, it was just, it was nothing to be getting excited about, honestly, because it's like, well, I've seen enough of these things to be like, oh, that looks cool. And then you get the real game and you're like, oh, it don't play nothing like how y'all had showed the thing on the, oh, that's what y'all do? Okay. So, I mean, it was like, it was, aesthetically, how it looked, it was cool, but you just don't know the actual results, though, because they didn't give you, like, gameplay trailer, you know, things like that. So, that was that. I took that with a grain of salt. And then Blue Point is real cool. Blue Point, I love them for the Metal Gear Solid HD collection and the Uncharted trilogy, Nathan Drake trilogy. And I was looking forward to what they're gonna do now, because they kept teasing it and they're like, it's gonna be our best thing ever. And they say it's gonna be Demon Souls. So if you're watching and you like that, I don't even know what the heck it is. I keep hearing about it. Like I said, I told you what kind of games I'm into. I don't know if it's like a slasher, or I don't know what it is, but I keep hearing about it. And I kept seeing people wanted that to be what Blue Point's working on. Well, a lot of people are gonna be happy. That's cool for them. They showed like a 10-second teaser, and they showed the title. And I was like, when I saw that name, I'm like, oh, this must be what Blue Point is working on. And then they said Blue Point. I'm like, dang, this is what they're working on all this time. You know, I'm not happy with it. What I wanted, what I was hoping it was gonna be, was a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. A proper one, not like that mess they did back in 2001 for GameCube, the Twin Snakes. I wanted like a real, you know, remake for Metal Gear Solid 1. I thought that was gonna be it, but, you know, and hopefully, you know, retaining the original voice actors, especially David Hayter, but that's not what we got. But I don't know, I don't even know if that can happen with rights and things like that, and Konami being Konami these days, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of bummed out when I saw that, but a lot of people are going to be happy, because a lot of people did request that and want that. So that's cool if you're a Demon Souls fan, whatever that game's about. There was this other game that I've heard of last year called Deathloop. I thought it was going to be a thing already, but I didn't know they were waiting for the next generation. But basically this game, it's a first-person view shooter, which already I'm like, man, if it was third-person, it'd be really cool. But it's like a real cool kind of game. It's a lot of cool like characters, you know, dropping F-bombs, you know, things like that. Very mature game, real cool. First person cool shooter. Like he has like a little bit of powers too and everything. So like it's about two assassins. One of them is stuck in this, basically this time loop. He dies, but he can come back. But he's supposed to, I guess the story goes, he's supposed to kill 8 targets by midnight. And I guess it's supposed to stop his death loop. I guess whatever time trance he's stuck in, if he kills these 8 targets by midnight, he's good. He can go on about his normal life, I guess. But there's this rival assassin that's trying to kill him. and she just, I guess, just can't stand the guy. They're rivals. She just loves seeing him die, and she's like an obstacle in his path that keeps trying to kill him. And so I guess if he keeps dying, you know, before he can kill his 8 targets before midnight, things aren't going to be looking too good for him. So it looked like it was a really cool trailer that they put out. I just wished they had more of a AAA package when it came to the graphics, but story-wise and character-wise, plot-wise, it looked real cool. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for just time loop kind of things. Like, I don't know, something just attracts me about those kind of storylines, especially when you make them funny like that. If you check out that trailer, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think that game looks pretty cool. I just wish they had better, you know, more AAA type graphics, but I think I will put that on the agenda. I wouldn't spend top price on it, but it looked like it'll be a fun game. And the combat, the gunplay and the combat looked real cool in there. So that's what I'm actually looking forward to. So yeah, it's going to be a PS5 thing. You could easily make that for these systems now, honestly, the way the graphics look. But I think when they showed what you can tell were cutscenes, it looked a little more cleaned up. It's like, oh, I can tell that's a cutscene. I can tell that's is where they put more of their, you know, graphic resources in. They put it more into this. The gameplay kind of looks like, as far as the graphics anyway, kind of look man, but they look fun. It looks like a fun game to play. But yeah, so there's that. And then Resident Evil 7 just kept being, no, not 7, 8 just kept being teased. Resident Evil Village. If you've seen leaks and things like that, them leaks is true. They showed you a trailer, very mysterious. The first 5 seconds I knew it was Resident Evil. I'm like, oh, this is Resident Evil. But the crazy thing about it is, I don't know what these creatures are. Like the enemy types in here are they're just brand new. You don't know what the heck you're facing. It's very mysterious. It seems like you're coming across more shady people than even creatures in this game, it looks like. So this looks pretty interesting. They said in the thing it's gonna be the ending. It said the end to his story, but they didn't say his name. But you still know that it's actually Ethan that's gonna be starting this game. It's gonna be first person, just like the last one was, Resident Evil 7. They didn't mention PSVR support, but I assume it's gonna be there. They just didn't mention it. They didn't talk about VR at all. But you know, you might have that. And then you showed Chris Redfield. And Chris Redfield, I mean, I can say spoiler alert, but if you're gonna watch the trailer, you're gonna see it in the trailer. They show you in the trailer. Chris Redfield just popped old dude's girlfriend, the one that he spent his whole game, Resident Evil 7, trying to save. You know, his girlfriend, I forgot her name. I didn't own Resident Evil 7. I just saw it on YouTube. I saw the whole thing, someone's playthrough. And I don't have a PSVR headset yet, but I do plan on getting the game. I'm only gonna get the game as a PSVR companion. Not a game that I really wanted to play, because I like Leon Kennedy and the old school characters, and I like the third person of it. First person, new character, but if it's PSVR, Resident Evil in VR, that's cool. That sounds like a cool theme. Getting scared right in your headset, that sounds cool. So I would check out 7 and 8 just for that. But yeah, I mean, I saw it, and yeah, Chris Redfield just popped the dude's girlfriend like 3 times on the ground. And of course, Ethan was mad. Like, dude, I spent the whole Resident Evil 7 trying to save her, and you gonna kill her? Like, what's up with that? So, I don't know if he's a villain or if he was just like, yo, I had to do it. It was the right thing to do. I don't care if you're mad. But he was standing over him like he was looking like a villain. So, I don't know what Chris is on these days. But yeah, there was that. And it was like almost like a couple minutes. So it was like a little more than a teaser. But they don't give you too much story content. It's still very mysterious. But that's supposed to be coming 2021. So that's going to be a good thing for y'all to check out. And then there was Horizon 2. Forbidden West is what they called it. Now, I kept hearing about the first one when it came out, and it just didn't seem like my thing. I had a free trial of PS Now, and I played it while it was supposed to be on PS Now. I think it's probably expired by now. But I played like the first hour of it, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's actually pretty decent. I really like the graphics; it looked beautiful. I don't know, just not my type of game, not my kind of setting, you know, gameplay-wise, things like that. But it looked like it could be a cool, interesting story. I was supposed to watch a playthrough of it just to get like a whole experience of the game. just to at least know what it's about. But the sequel looked pretty good. It looked like an expansion of what you do in the first one, it looks like anyway. The graphics look nice. The gameplay and the story, everything about it looks like an improvement upon the last thing. So I know a lot of y'all are gonna be happy about it. A lot of people love Horizon, so a lot of y'all are gonna be cool with that. And yeah, that's supposed to be coming out. They didn't have an actual date for it, but they said they can't wait to show you more. But it looked beautiful. It looked really good. It looks like more of their, well, I'm not gonna say flagship. It's not gonna come out when the PS5 first comes out, because they would have said that. But it looks like probably is gonna be the most anticipated game. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah, it just looks really good. I'm pretty sure the marketing and the promotion package behind that is gonna be like through the roof. So that's gonna be cool to check out. And then toward the end, they showed the box. And I was like, you know what? I like it. The curvature and the look of it and everything, I really liked it. What I didn't like, again, just like with the DualSense, it comes in that plain white, you know, which I'm kind of like, man, I'm feeling like Christian Bale, like, man.
Does it come in black?
You know what I mean? Like, so that's the only one they showed. They showed it, and they showed it side by side. They showed two different consoles. I'm like, wait, hold up, what's this? But they're showing that there's also a digital edition. So you can get one with the disc, and then you get one without the disc. And it's just like the digital, you get just the box, and it's like the digital games. They showed 2 USB ports once again, so instead of 4. But once again, the solution for that, that's what I did with my PS4. I just bought me a hub, a PS4 compatible USB hub with 4 extra slots. You just plug it into one of them. Now you got 4 extra slots. You can put your headphones in, recharge a couple of controllers. The other free slot that I had, I used it for my external HDD because the power source isn't strong enough to plug it up through a hub. You have to plug it up through the system. So it's like, okay, well, that's one space right there. So I'm like, okay, my second space can be my hub, and then I got 4 spots to just plug up whatever. The USB headset, my, you know, charge my headset, charge my controller, whatever. So yeah, only 2 ports again. That's how that's gonna go. And they only showed the console standing up, and it seemed like it was standing on some kind of stand too. I don't know what it looks like when you lay it flat. I like to lay my system flat because my stand is my TV is like right here, and then my stand is like right here, and the TV's right here. So if I stand it up, it's gonna block the path. So it's like I can't really stand it up. I gotta put it on the floor and stand it up. I don't want to put my system on the floor. If I got everything on my TV stand, you know, that's just tacky, you know. So I don't know how it looks laying down, but the curvature of it and everything standing up vertically, it looked pretty good. I just wish it was a better color. So for me, most likely not going to be a first adapter of the PS5. I'm looking forward to whatever limited editions they come out with, whether it's like just like a new color, a new look, or if it's going to be a video game themed, you know, a new game comes out that I like. And it's going to be like, oh, you get this game with this game, and you get this new look. Because when I got my PS4, the one that I got, my favorite console box of all time too, I would say, easily. I got me this right here. My favorite game this generation too. I went and got the Uncharted 4, you know, edition, this special edition right here. So, hey, maybe Uncharted 5 comes out, or some kind of Uncharted comes out, and they get another, you know, system. But yeah, that's what I got. So I'm thinking of doing that for the PS5 because I just don't like the original white. It's too plain, and it's like a hassle to keep clean too. Like it look like you will see dust easily on that mug. And the DualSense white, I keep seeing black DualShocks, but I'm like, are they a real thing? Because they didn't show it in this presentation. They kept showing the white DualShock that we first been presented with. So I don't know about that, but they showed that. They showed the DualSense dock, so you can of course charge your controller up, you know, while you're not doing anything or whatever. And then they showed the Pulse Elite. It's 3D Pulse Elite. Now the Pulse Elite, that was the first party Sony headset that came with the PS3, and then with the PS4 they changed it to the gold headset, gold wireless, and then it was rebranded as, there was gold silver where it was wired, then there was another platinum. They have the platinum. And then they had another, they just redid the gold edition, just made it a new look and everything like that. So now they're going back to calling it Pulse Elite, but it's going to be 3D audio Pulse Elite, the new audio that they're bragging and boasting about. So you got that, and that's white as well. So everything matches. Every single thing matches. You have the HD camera. That does come in black though. You have an HD camera, so that's going to be cool. And then you have a media remote. And the media remote is white. It's real small. So yeah, that looks good too. Just like I said, it's just these colors that are bothering me. Like, okay, can we get some black? Can we get something else? You know, white is way too plain, but that's how they're doing it. And so yeah, so that was everything. They talked a little bit about ultra high SSD. I mean, they didn't like talk about it. They just like showed it in graphic. Basically, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be ray tracing. They didn't mention like load times and things like that, but I think with ultra high SSD, I mean, like, I'm not a technical nerd or anything. I don't know any like full details on this stuff, but I think that's supposed to help loading times be dramatically reduced. So there's that. They talked about the DualSense with the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, and there's a motion sensor. So that's gonna be a cool controller. Like I said, it's just the color that I got a problem with, and the bulkiness of it. It feels more like one of the Xbox controllers. But I don't know, I feel like if I get it in my hand, I can get used to it. Maybe, hopefully. I'll have to, because I ain't getting no Xbox. So I'm gonna have to get used to it. But yeah, so that was the PS5 reveal. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Except for the box. I hope we get a different color box. But other than that, I'm liking what I'm seeing. The games surprised me. I'm like, okay. They showed more on Godfall. Not my type of game. But the trailer they showed was really cool. I like the song that they had in the background. It was real cool. Not a game that I would buy or play, but great presentation. And graphics actually looked better than what I saw from the first trailer. But I saw like a jacked up quality video. Maybe that's probably why. But the one that I saw this time around looked pretty good. But yeah, so I'm most excited about that Spider-Man. I'm most excited about that Hitman 3. Deathloop I might want to check out. And yeah, you know, that was real cool. There's Grand Theft Auto 5 again. Now the bad news with that for me is, when are we actually going to see a Grand Theft Auto 6? Because that's what I really want. I'm ready to move on. I mean, I've been ready to move on to Grand Theft Auto 5 forever, and I got disappointed with that. That's the scariest thing. Like, if you get a Grand Theft Auto 6, and I feel the same way about Grand Theft Auto 6 that I felt about 5, being disappointed, and y'all done had us wait over a whole decade, it's like, you know, but that's that. But yeah, y'all, PlayStation 5, holiday 2020, a bunch of games slated to come 2021, 2022. Some games just didn't mention the date yet, and then a few surprise 2020s here and there. So the one I'm most looking forward to is that Spider-Man Miles Morales. I can't wait to see what they're doing with that one. Honestly though, I feel like that game might be a little short though, because it's just kind of like a phantom drop, like out of nowhere. It's like, oh, they dropped that information on us right now, and we're like probably 5 or 6 months away from the game. So, and it's Miles Morales standalone game. So I'm like, is it gonna be like a, you know, Uncharted Lost Legacy kind of thing, or what? Like kind of like holding us over till the next Spider-Man comes out. That's my only feeling about that, but it's still gonna be like an enjoyable game, I feel like. So I can't wait for that. Can't wait to see what the PS5 brings us this next generation. Hopefully it's gonna be some greatness. It looks like some greatness. It actually looks promising. Hopefully we can get more details soon. They didn't come out the end and say when they're gonna tell us the release date or when they're gonna drop the, you know, the prices or anything like that. So we'll still have to wait and see about that kind of stuff. And yeah, but other than that, man, it's your boy Super Mario 1990. I'm out. Peace in.